Welcome to the Fantasy Goons podcast, part of the Pucks Out family. It's time to skip the book and find out the info you need to win your league with Bobby, Davey, and Brandon.
Now I gotta ride or die.
Welcome into the Fantasy Goons. I'm Bobby. He's Davey. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media for now at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's get you the info you need to be a champion. How are you guys doing this week?
Pretty good. Just, tired from our Tuesday excursion. We're going to a game again tonight.
Yeah.
So
We got a quicker episode for you guys so that we can get on out of here and get there in time for puck drop. Davey, how you been, bud?
Doing well. I also got to my first game of the season, so that was exciting. So we've all been to games now.
Nice.
I've got one tonight, then I'm going with the wife on Saturday. So
Nice.
I got 3 this week.
Yeah, it's definitely... I love nobody being there. That's my favorite.
It's
That's
great.
literally my best way to watch
bathroom
pro
is
sports.
ideal,
Oh
guys.
yeah,
It's great.
Oh yeah.
Well, we still had the same small bathroom that all-inclusive zone that we've always had.
Yeah.
But we had sat this dope table. Usually I got the seats in the all-inclusive zone. We actually had one of the tables up there this time, and it was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Shout out to my boy Julius, the bar.
Yeah, he kills it as always. There wasn't as many people to deal with, so he hooked us up for sure.
But all right, let's get into our weekly impressions. I'll start us off. Keep an eye on Jacob Trouba. In a lot of leagues, he'll be hitting the free agency market soon. He's with injury, and there's a lot of leagues that didn't extend the IR spots, unfortunately. So if you're one of those teams, one of those leagues where he's hitting the free agent market, keep an eye on him. Don't just look at his stats, how they are this year, because the entire Rangers are struggling, but he's still a reliable D-man. His baseline of reliable stats has kept him in the fantasy mix. Among those with fantasy relevant fantasy points per game, he's along with people who are 1.6 or higher. He is third among defensemen for reliable fantasy points per 60 minutes, and he's averaging more than 21 minutes a game. So he's still someone you should be able to pick up in some leagues with him hitting the market soon. Davey, what do you got?
Yeah, so I have the Dallas Stars. Last Tuesday began the Stars ultra condensed schedule of 40 games in 70 days. Monday was their final day in which they could enjoy consecutive days off, so they're going to be playing a lot of hockey with no practice. It's a bit unfortunate for them. I'm worried about potential overuse injuries, potentially some of these guys getting worked too hard. Don't expect much out of the Stars. They've only 16 games played as a recording. A lot of ground to gain with this team, a lot of games to be played. I don't see good things happening for this team.
I have the New York Islanders are on a tear right now and getting some good goal scoring, which is not traditional to the Islanders play style. They're second in their division right now. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. I mean, that's a team to look out for, and probably lots of streaming candidates on their squad. So that's someone that I'd be looking at. I mean, that East division is shuffling right now, man. They're the Capitals are on top now, and the Bruins are down below them. I mean, that's crazy that the Islanders started off so slow and now are second in that division. So that'll be interesting to watch.
All right. Moving on to our pickups. As always, talking about percentages of Yahoo. I've got Pavel Zacha, I think is how you pronounce that last name. He's on a 10-game point streak right now. He's playing on the first line and only 32% rostered. He's got 18 games played with 14 points in total. He's a 23-year-old center. He's got a bright spot. He was their 2015 first round pick.
Jeez,
So he's
awesome.
I think
you didn't say the team.
Oh, the Devils. So he's with Nico Hischier out right now for a couple weeks. I think he'll be picking up a lot of the slack there. definitely go get him. I was able to get him in one league. He was available.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was super excited because I was able to drop someone. I can't remember who I dropped for him.
Devils have kind of dropped off a little bit, though. You know, I mean, that's the biggest problem that with them there. I mean, obviously that doesn't affect fantasy necessarily, but a lot of low scoring games. It's a pretty amazing that he's been able to hold that 10-point game streak when they're not scoring a ton of goals. So that makes it a little bit even more impressive.
Davey, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I have Minnesota Wild players. Who's ever available in the top 3 lines, that's who I recommend right now. They have solid options for either a stream or just to give a chance if you have a struggling spot in your lineup to grab somebody. Here's just a few names that I recommend, and people that I picked up myself as well. Marcus Felino, left wing, right wing capability, 6 goals, 5 assists. He's only 16% owned, and he's got a hits category as well. So Felino's a good addition if you need somebody. Jordan Greenway also has the left wing, right wing capability. He's got 3 goals, 12 assists, only 19% owned. Also gets you hits, but he's also got that blocks category as well. So if you've got, Cats League where you need these types of things. And then Joel Eriksson Ek, he's a center. He's 8 goals, 4 assists. He is 32% owned, so he's getting up there. He shoots the puck quite often, so expect goals and scoring chances from him. But yeah, that's who I've got, Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, surprised of those 3 that he's the highest owned. I feel like the other 2 have a bigger name value. Yeah. You would think that they would be a little bit more owned, but I guess Felino has been out a little bit. Is that correct? Yeah. So for me, I have Paul Stasny. That's a guy that's going to definitely get you some face-off wins. He's a center for the Jets. Moved up to the top line playing with Scheifele and Wheeler. Switching places with Pierre-Luc Dubois. Obviously, great line mates on a hot team right now. Only 16% rostered on Yahoo. He has 3 games this week against high-scoring team in Toronto. I think that is going to be a good move. I think it's going to be a good move for the Jets as well because Pierre-Luc Dubois has been playing better when he's played with Kyle Connor on that second line there. So Stasny could be a good addition. I mean, even if it's just for the week, 16% owned is not a lot with a lot of opportunities for points, face-off wins, so on and so forth. And he can get hot. I mean, the past couple of years he's been up and down, but not necessarily that big, high-powered name that is going to attract a lot of folks.
Yeah, good pick.
Before we move on, I do want to circle back your Islanders. I had written down in my notes that I forgot to put on the doc. Nick Leddy. I believe he's about 50% available right now, so there's a good chance if he's out there, you might be able to get him. He's getting a lot of assists up there. 10 assists in his past 11 games.
Is he playing? He's a defender.
Yeah, he's a D-man, yeah.
And now you may not have this offhand. How many of his assists are secondary versus primary? Because
I didn't find that one out.
I mean, and obviously for those, I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you know what I mean by primary and secondary assist. Secondary assist are that second guy that not the guy that passes to the guy who scores, but the guy before that. So it doesn't necessarily. Obviously, they count the same, but secondary assists tend to drop off a little bit more than primary assist would. Yeah. But I mean, as a D-man, the secondary assists are going to be there a lot more and a little bit more consistent than the secondary for, say, a forward. So good call.
And then also Ilia Sorkin. He's let's see, on my phone he says he's only 33% rostered. Barry Trotz is talking about using him a little bit more and eating a little bit into Varlamov's playing time as their schedule starts to ramp up a little bit more. So he's a good goalie to be on the watch out because I know I'm struggling with some goalies in some leagues.
Oh man, I think everybody is.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into our stream of the week. I've got Matthias Eckhome only because he's widely available in so many leagues, and he's starting to, he had what did he have 2 goals, or I think he had a goal in that game against Carolina.
His first multi-point multi-goal game.
So I've noticed just not even on the scorecard, just becoming a little bit more reliable. Getting some hits, and honestly, with the trade deadline coming up soon, he might be getting some more time of ice just to boost his trade value.
Yeah, and not only that, but he could also get traded potentially to
Yeah.
a team going deeper than the Predators will, and that could also provide value and give him a little spark.
Because everyone knows when Preds trade people away, they always are going to do better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Maybe not PK Subban, but everyone else.
I mean, the trade, depending on where he goes, though, it could hurt him fantasy wise, because if he's going to a team that is competing more, a little bit more, it could hurt him because he's on a better team, may not get as much time on ice. But with Ryan Ellis out, it's obviously a great candidate to bring into the team, because even if they're not boosting his time on ice to add to his trade value, they're going to be boosting his time on ice just by necessity of needing him out there.
Right now, according to The Athletic, the Flyers are showing some interest into Matthias Eckhome.
Okay. That's what I read
so
as
that
well.
could be, that could be a nice little landing spot for him.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And, obviously I'm wanting the best for him as a player.
The Bruins as well are in the mix.
Yeah, I think that possibly could hurt his fantasy value, but increase his obviously personal value, which would be good. Which would be good for him. I'd like to see him land somewhere nice.
They were comparing him to like a Jake Muzzin, who, just right in that category, top 4 defenseman type, probably second pair, but yeah.
All right, Davey, who are you streaming this week?
I've got the Edmonton Oilers. Last night, unfortunately, was a tough loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 6-1 loss, but they started to play good hockey and are currently sitting in third in the North as of recording. 4 games this week, including 4 against the last place Ottawa Senators and 1 against the struggling Vancouver Canucks.
Don't you mean the Ottawa Senators?
Yeah, they're hot right now.
hot right now.
but yeah, so and Smith is still playing fairly well, other than the last couple of games last week when he gave up 6 to the Leafs. But other than that, it's been a pretty fun performance for them. This is why I'm streaming them this week, is simply because they know what they need to do. They know that they're capable of it, and they know they can compete in the Scotia North. So I think that it's a great stream for this week. I think they're going to keep playing good hockey.
That horrible stretch, the 3-game stretch they had against the Leafs.
Yeah.
Do you think that says more about the Leafs or more about the situation going on in Edmonton right now?
I think it's Leafs, because the Leafs are amazing. I think that team is your dang near your cup favorite, obviously, at this point of time right now. But it could say a lot about Edmonton too. It really could. I mean, I think that they have the talent. Everyone else here probably thinks they have the talent to be better than they actually are. Yeah. But Leafs, hard to.
I would need to I'll do some research for next week. I'd like to go back and look to see how many 3-game losing streaks they've had where Draisaitl and McDavid put up 0 points, because this could be. Are they imploding? Can they not deal with this schedule? Can they not deal with dealing with small slumps, and then they just kind of implode on themselves?
Well, that 6-1 game against the Leafs, Draisaitl did have a point.
Okay, so he had 1 point. All right.
So, yeah. So, they're just so streaky, it's just tough for the Oilers. I think that, again, it says a lot about the Maple Leafs. Obviously they're looking good and they're staying hot. But yeah, that's obviously a great point. I do have my stream of the week of the Ottawa Senators. They are looking good right now. Even in the games that they're losing, they are still putting up some points, which is nice for fantasy. You don't care if they win, the team wins or loses, as long as they're scoring. Playing a lot better as of late. Obviously, 4 off game nights this week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. 3 against the Oilers, 1 against the Leafs. So they're going to be high scoring games that they're playing in. Lots of opportunities to find some of their lesser known guys and folks that may be staying away from Ottawa just because of where they're at in their division. But I think that makes a good opportunity, and especially when you can stream these guys on days that you'll definitely have room for them on your roster. Some of my guys that I've talked about anyway. Josh Norris is still widely available, still playing pretty well. That's something I would look at, just talking about Ottawa in general.
Yeah, I actually had him for a couple of games as well. Tried him out, did all right. He was kind of a streaming
nice little piece. Not a big enough name to make you want to have to keep him or anything like that. So.
Yeah, it was Evgeny Dadonov I picked up today in the league. They're just they're I don't listen. They're not a playoff team, but looks like they are definitely not tanking. They're pushing hard. So that as a fantasy player, you like to see that. All right, so let's move into our tail and fade. Start off. I'm tailing the Yotes this week. They're still in the mix at 10-9-3. They're playing the Avs and the Wild. I'm expecting some scoring to happen. I say that even though I dropped Keller this morning. But yeah, so if there's some Yotes out there, top 6 guys that might be available, I would try to go get them because they're going to be having to score for their survival this week. So I suspect I would expect all 3 of these games or all 4 of these games I think they play this week to hit the over.
Yeah, I actually it's funny because I got the Minnesota Wild who are playing the Yotes twice this coming week, but I've got Wild because they went on a 6-game win streak last week, including a win against Colorado Avalanche, showing they can compete against good teams. But they'll also face the Golden Knights twice, who they've had bad luck with. Unfortunately, last week they lost in overtime to them, and then they lost the 5-1 game, sadly. But there's many players that are getting in on the action and the scoring, and most of them are available in Yahoo leagues, like we discussed earlier. So I'd say get on this team while you can. They look pretty real. They're in the top 4 right now, and I imagine they'll stay there.
And I guess we all just picked teams that each other are playing this week because I do have the Colorado Avalanche as my tailing team this week. 4 off-game nights, you know how important that is to me when it comes to getting guys in there. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday game, 2 against the Yotes, 2 against the Kings. They're picking it up a bit in their division, as you talked about last week, Davey. 6-4-0 in their last 10 games. I mean, this is a team that can score in bunches. When they're winning big. When they're losing big. So it's if you can get more win bigs than lose bigs, then you should be all right if you want to tail this team. I guess it's moving into me who we're talking about fades. Buffalo Sabres. They are looking by far like the worst team in the league right now. And that is ridiculous to say. I think all had not super high hopes, but high hopes for this team early on in the season. 2-7-1 in their last 10, 3 games on heavy game nights, 1 against the Flyers, 2 against the Pens. I think they play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I mean, it's hard to bring them in. Last place in their division as we're recording. I mean, it's just a dumpster fire up there.
Is it true Eichel only has 1 goal or 2 goals and Taylor Hall has like none?
I'm not sure, but I think you're correct.
I'm getting really close on one of my leagues to dropping Taylor Hall.
And I have Eichel and he's not doing anything for me.
Yeah, it's rough.
Usually even when they're doing bad, you could always count on Eichel to bring something home for you. I mean, Taylor Hall's hit or miss. 2 goals and 13 assists this season, so 15 points. Okay. But I don't know. In the last 5 games, he's had 3 assists. So that's tough. Taylor Hall in the last 5 games has 2 points, no goals. So throughout the season, he has 1 goal and 11 assists for 12 points this year. So
gosh,
that's not going to get it done. They did not bring you in there for 12 points, or at least if it was 12 points, they would want it more like 6 goals, 6 assists. I mean, something. They're just not getting good scoring. One of the few games that they did win was against a Devils team that has been has tapered off and looking bad. I'm definitely fading them this week.
All right, Davey, what do you got?
Yeah, so I have the Calgary Flames. What is wrong with the Flames, you guys? I mean, they lost twice last week to the Ottawa Senators, big 5-1.
They're Ottawa.
The Ottawa Senators.
Ottawa.
Where you at, Bob?
So hot right now.
There he is. All right, so in their last 8 losses. They've scored only 1 goal per game, and that certainly will never cut it. I thought that stat was fascinating. They're frustrated. I mean, nothing seems to be working for this team. Even the Flames warm up the other night. I don't know if you saw this video, but I linked a clip to it, and there's guys crashing into each other. Lucic is sitting in the corner, just laying on the ground, and Gaudreau shoots a backhand in the helmet into the helmetless Sean Monahan. It's like, what is going on? Everything is falling apart.
It was like the Parks and Rec episode where Andy is the basketball coach. The kids are just running everywhere and doing whatever they want.
It is so bad.
Yeah, that's really Monahan's fault for not. I've never understood that not wearing the helmet during warm-ups. Like, dude, it's not football. Wow, okay, they're gonna warm up without helmets. Dude, these pucks, even when you lightly hit them, they're vulcanized rubber, bro. Like, that's not smart at all.
And like, you're a professional athlete, you wear this. You've been wearing this thing for years. Is an extra 15 minutes not wearing it really gonna like help you that much?
Right.
Like, it's just weird.
And like some you can see. Well, okay, they got a nice flow. They're trying to show that off. Mark Giordano, you bald, bro. You don't need to. You don't need to try to show off the flow. If anything, you need to continue to wear the helmet always.
All right, I'm fading the Blues this week. They've got 3 games, 2 against Vegas. They're going to get shut down. I think that they are becoming the garbage team we all know they are. Bennington is a garbage goalie, and I think that they're going to get absolutely lit up. I would be surprised if they score throughout those 3 games. I'd be surprised if they put up more than 2 goals. In all.
I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sure everything that you said was very meaningful, but I have just been watching this 20-second clip on repeat, dude, because you see something new every single time.
Are you
watch it? Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
Where is it? I need to find that.
It's in the comment.
I linked it in my comment there. It's hilarious.
It is. Yeah, it really is like that Andy scene from Parks and Rec, man. It is. Yeah, but no, I definitely agree with what you said, Bob. And hey, I don't feel bad about it either.
But as of this recording, the Blues are in second in the West. I mean, that's 28 points.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, they are falling apart. I think they will, but yeah, what do you think of that clip right there?
Just bumping into each other. There's a guy like sitting there like, oh, he just knocked a guy down. Giordano's just like, what's going on? Monahan getting popped in the head. Yeah, that's funny.
They can't even put a team out there for their warm-up.
They can't even score. They can't even score more than 1 goal while warming up.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so do we want to? I'm sorry if any of you commented on my Blues stuff. I was also not paying attention. I was watching that video the whole time.
It was so good. Yeah. No, I agree. It's like Davey said. Hopefully, by the time it comes out, they will have fallen down the standings, so it doesn't make you look as bad. But we're talking fantasy wise. I mean, you can win a bunch of games and not be a fantasy valuable team as well. So, and that division is a strange bird for sure. Yeah. I mean, you never know what you're going to get week to week from different teams in the Western Division. So,
all right, anything we got anything to else before we head out for the day?
That's all I have.
That's it. That's all I got, buddy.
Everyone, good luck. Hit that free agency market. And we'll see you guys next week.
This has been the Fantasy Goons podcast, brought to you by Standing Stone Farms. Listen to the boys every week and join in on the conversation on the 3 majors of social media.